on. Okay, we're streaming. Let's take a peek here to see if we actually are streaming. The connection is excellent, and the viewers are 0. So we can say anything we want
Oh,
to.
I see it. I see it. I haven't got the notification yet, but I see it. Oh, I gotta
Oh
mute
my
it.
goodness
There we go.
gracious. I just got a notification. Maybe it's this, or maybe it's something. Hard4Games is
Watch live
live.
now. Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness. You know
Hard
what?
for. Oh
When
my
you're
god.
like an extreme fan to the point of literally you're the producer of the show, YouTube will
And you have
send you a
notifications on.
notification.
Guys, you gotta click the bell. That's what
Gotta
all the
click the
YouTubers
bell.
say.
Yep.
Let me tweet. We're live with Hartford.
Retro
Gotta do
Alexandra.
all the tweets and everything.
Yep, exactly.
Hard4Games.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. Oh, starting to get some comments in. Yo, yo.
Hello.
Here we go. Yo, what's going on, dudes? I'm an extreme fan that click right away. Yo, sup? Yo, hello. A lot of people.
The real homies show up right away.
Yeah, exactly. The real
notifications.
I also like how in the title we just put like Activision Blizzard without saying what we were going to talk about because it's obvious. Like it's like come on, like good lord.
We all know what's going on.
Allie. retr0ali's in the chat.
Oh.
Oh,
wow, I'm in the chat. That's crazy.
Hello. Dude. I'm gonna go at
as if I'm not right here, but that's okay.
Allie. Welcome.
Thank you for the welcome. The personal welcome.
You here, but I'm gonna spell everything wrong. Playdate. Hey.
Woo.
All right. Well,
have to have you hair.
Have you hair? I'm gonna asterisk that and write HAIR as in hair. So it's just still wrong.
That's great.
Hi Tony. Hi. Wow, a lot of people saying hi. This is real nice.
Hello.
I hope everyone likes how I poofed my hair. This is a result of having a little bit of cream in it that didn't hold through the night last night, and I didn't shower today. So it's got some poof to it.
Some poof.
I'm on a every other day showering right now, just due to the nature of my children. But if I can shower every day, I will. But I it's too much information. But anyways, I do what I can when I can, people.
But gamers don't shower, man. Like, come on.
I miss conventions, even though I never really went to a ton of them. I want to go to more conventions. But one of the things about conventions that is a stereotype, but it is kind of true, is that there are some smelly people there because
I can confirm that.
They've been up walking around all day. But the thing is like, hey, listen, if you're like there at a convention, you probably have like a hotel room. You probably have a hotel in the building that the convention.
There's a shower.
There's a shower
in the hotel room.
It's like even if you don't want to like take the time to like shower in the middle of the day. Let's say you're just going to shower in the evening. Let's say you're stinky in the middle of the day. Go back to the room. Clean the hot spots, okay? The face, the armpits, the groin. Like, change your underwear. Put on some new friggin' deodorant, you know? Just get the under the elbows, you know, the stickies. And then change your shirt. You know, maybe the pants can stick around. And then get back out there. But for love of everything that's holy, please change your clothes and shower and put on some deodorant.
Bird bath it.
Yeah, bird bath it. Yeah. Yeah, actually, it was funny because I watch a lot of like after prison shows. I don't know why. I find them fascinating. But basically, it's like former felons that talk about their experience. And there was this one woman who was talking, I think Jessica Kent is her name, her show.
Yeah, I watch her videos.
Yeah, she's cool. So like she was talking about how oftentimes, especially like if you're in solitary, they don't want to like bother with letting you shower. So
because they gotta let you out to like
it's a whole process. Yeah. So like they'll be like, you know, maybe you're sleeping and they'll be like shower time. And then you won't wake up. And then you'll just be like,
well,
I didn't get my shower. So she used the term bird bathing it.
Yeah. I saw that video. That's funny.
Anyways. You should
Chat is
have some of
saying
your.
that Smash players don't shower. This is also true.
Well, you know what though? It's because they need the preferred amount of grime and grease and hand cheese to delve into their GameCube controller. That's how they
It's
get.
all very accurate.
It needs to be a GameCube controller, and it needs to become. It's like, you know how like your grandpa had like his chair, you know, like because his like
Yes.
ass had been in his chair for so long. It's like,
Yes.
how dare you sit in my chair, you son of a bitch, if you sat in the chair,
Exactly. It
kind of thing.
adds grip.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the GameCube controllers. And obviously, if anything goes wrong, it's because it wasn't cheesy enough or there was lag. You know, one or the other.
There you
So,
go.
um, let's see here. Thank you for the nightmares, Tony.
Good.
Oh my goodness, it adds grip. Sweaty wave birds. Oh my goodness gracious. Funny how you talk about a grease and then there's an Xbox releasing grease-proof control.
Oh, I
What?
remember that. Yeah.
Yes, Tony, this is how we lubricate our buttons and C sticks for maximum momentum to click button ratio. I misread that in my mind for a second, and I read, yes, Tony, this is how we lubricate our bottoms and C sticks. And I'm like, what now? What now? Okay, so I think that's enough for me dicking around with you guys.
A good intro. Solid intro for the people to get in here talking about taking showers, and now we can talk about actual things.
Yeah. So I need the chat to do me a favor because like I when I'm streaming, I'm like sort of in like what's it? It's kind of like a showman's mode almost. And I get
Yeah.
I'm like too talky, you know?
Yeah.
So like the last stream I did with Ali, I went to bed, I'm like, son of I like did I even let her speak? So
You're fine.
I
You're
was like, I just kept like
fine.
chatting away, talking about random
Keeps you up at
crap.
night, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would wake up in a cold sweat. I'm like, did Alex speak enough? Oh God.
I feel like I would totally do that. Be like, oh my, like, or if it's something I did on stream, I'm like, oh my God, like, why did I
Yeah.
do that?
That's
You know?
that's what happens when you have anxiety and you go and do live stuff and then you think about it in your brain over and over. You have these
You're like,
repeating
oh
thoughts and you're like, you know, my wife
shit.
sees me like sweating cold at night. I'm like, retr0ali didn't speak enough. Yeah. So I need the chat to let me know if I'm over talking and not 50-50ing this stream here. So do what you can, chat. Just say, Tony,
I believe in
please
you, chat.
shush your mush and you know, tell me to shut the hell up. So Allie,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about the Steam? Almost made the mistake we made earlier. The Steam Deck, or do you want to talk about the Playdate first?
Guess I'll go with the Playdate because I saw a lot of people talking about it. But yeah,
Okay.
basically, wasn't it that I saw they had their pre-orders and like there was a ton of demand for it and everything. And like the Playdate as a handheld person, like I'm a big handheld fan, like Game Boy
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. I think it looks really cool. I'm not like 100% sold on like, getting one right away, but like I know there's some people I follow that are like really like, I want this, like I'm gonna pre-order, I'm gonna get it day one, which is really cool. So
Yeah.
hopefully, like, there's gonna be a lot of support for it and everything. But yeah, wasn't it they like sold they had, like a bunch of pre-orders or something. I forget the number off the top of my head.
It
But
was 20,000.
20, wow.
Yeah, it was
That's
20,000.
that's cool.
It was wild, wild, wild,
Yeah.
wild. So yeah, so this is Playdate right here. For anyone that's not familiar, sorry, I like putting this up on the fly.
It looks sick. You
Yeah.
got the little crank.
Yeah, so it's like it's cool. It's like a high quality black and white screen, which is funky.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got kind of like that retro vibe, but without any of that like crazy ghosting that you
Mm-hmm.
generally associate with that kind of stuff. And yeah, like you said, it's got like this crank, so it's like the crank can add like added gameplay elements, you know. But it's up to the developer to utilize it or not
Yeah.
utilize it. And that's kind of like its gimmick. It's like it's a black and
Yeah.
white handheld thing with a crank, right? But basically, like they were gonna have like seasons of games, so it would be
Oh
like,
yeah. I remember I heard about that.
um, it'd be like, I think they were gonna be free, where it's like you buy it and like you get a certain number of games or something that just
Hmm.
sort of like come along with it or you download. I
Yeah.
don't know if like future seasons would probably cost money or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe the chat can
Yeah,
let
I
me know
forget.
because I'm not sure how the devs would continue to make money once they have their install
Hmm.
base.
Yeah.
Um, so it's 179 and it's interesting. A lot of the company that made this has a lot of like hardware experience, and a lot of their stuff that they had
Hmm.
created was very like solid. A lot of like music based stuff, actually,
Oh, really?
um, like music equipment, like professional music equipment,
That's
and
interesting.
yeah. So it's like it's talking a little bit about the seasons here. Receive two brand new games every week for 12 weeks. That's 24 games. Da da
Huh.
da da. Some will be short, some will be long, etc.
Hmm.
And I don't know what's going to happen after that, but it's
Yeah.
interesting. Um, and they sold 20,000 units.
Oh, what is that stereo dock? That's
Oh, let me go
cool.
back here.
Yeah, what? Oh, that's neat.
Is this like a keychain on the top here? Where my oh, you can't see my
It
mouse
charges
cursor.
your Playdate, looks great on your desk. It's a stereo Bluetooth speaker, and it's a pen holder with a nice pen.
Oh my
Coming
god.
soon. That looks, I love the look of that. That's
That's pretty
so
cool.
nice. Yeah.
Um, and then you can get like a cover and stuff, and there's some
Oh, that's neat.
specs. As if too
Their
many people.
website's really well done.
Yeah, there's a lot of design that's gone into this. It really makes
I
me
can appreciate that.
feel like it's almost like a graphic designer's site, basically.
Hmm,
Uh,
definitely.
so let's go over. I'm gonna go over to the pre-order page here.
Yeah.
Real quick and very important question. What are you drinking, Tony? I am drinking. Well, it's the summertime, so I am
Yes.
drinking a diet tonic with lemon and a splash of gin. Bombay Sapphire, because I'm classy. Thank you for asking. Uh, Anyways, so pre-orders placed now are shipping in 2022 because they sold out their
Yeah.
20,000 units for 2021.
Yeah.
So I guess the question I have for you is,
Hmm.
Allie, is were you surprised that they sold so many units so quickly?
I'm like surprised and not surprised because like I know a lot of people that are really excited for it and we're like, I don't want to say necessarily diehard because it hasn't come out yet, but they're really excited about like the prospect of something like this, right?
Yeah.
So on that side of it, I'm not surprised. But I guess I'm surprised on the side of like, this is like some brand new handheld sort of, I don't want to say coming out of nowhere because like we've known about it for a while, but it's this. I don't know too much about the company behind it, to be fair, but they're just like coming out, doing their own thing. I assume independently and having this much success, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but I guess from that side of it, it's surprising, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's really neat.
They, yeah, like, I mean, it's odd because, like, n no one really expected hardware out of this company.
Yeah.
And I understand something like, like you have like analog, hyping up a new system, like their analog
Hmm.
handheld system where you can play Game Boy and Neo Geo Pocket Color and stuff and whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
sold out real quick. But it's like they've done stuff for years and years, right? So it's like you kind of have like
They have
this,
a built-up reputation.
yeah, exactly. Whereas like this comes and it's like people got like really, really hyped for it, which is like really
Hmm.
cool because it's like part of the issue with new hardware is, well, if not enough people buy it, there's no install base, and then you have this like endless cycle of like need better games, need more games, can't get developers,
And like
developer,
IPs too for
yeah.
games too as well.
So it's like, it seems like they have a reasonable amount of titles for their first
Hmm.
season, and it's like that can make enough people purchase it, and it's like, then they have prospects for season two.
Exactly.
So it's like this is actually kind of cool that it worked. Like
Yeah.
hopefully the reviews are good, but like as far as like the pre-orders and stuff, it's like you hate to see something like this where it's like so creative just fall flat, but it didn't.
Yeah. You can tell they put a lot of quality and hard work like into it. It's not just especially in like retro gaming, you see a lot of companies that like are trying to make a quick buck off of something. Like
Yeah,
whether it's like an emulation system or whatever it may be. And then you see something, I think maybe, I can't speak for other people, but just my sort of 2 cents on it is like I feel like it's awesome seeing people excited about it and seeing it be successful with the pre-orders and stuff. And I think why people are so excited is because they see the quality of it, you know, and they see something that has a lot of really good potential. Like, again, as someone, you know, I have a couple friends that are like big into like Game Boy Advance, like that sort of era, and they see this and they're like, oh, it's, you know, everything that I liked maybe, you know, from the Game Boy, but like a new spin on it, or like literally there's a crank, but like, you know, it sort of captures, you know, those sorts of people, especially, you know, in the retro gaming kind of scene where we're like, oh, I just want to play 20-year-old games. So it's got that simple style, like the handheld. So
yeah. So I guess the question is, do you think you will be buying one?
I could probably see myself buying one eventually. Maybe not pre-ordering one like right away, like right now. I mean, obviously they're sold out, but you know, once it does actually like officially come out and checking out reviews and stuff, and if the games are good, like I could definitely see myself getting it, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking about it as well. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter now because everything is going to be shipped for 2022 anyways, unless suddenly they're like, "Hey, guess what? All pre-orders will be 2023 now because they sold out in 2022." Like, you never know, like what's going to happen, right? So, I don't know. Like, I think maybe in the next couple of months, maybe I'll pick one up for review purposes. I don't know. I did reach out to them. I tried to pull an alley because you always get all these codes and stuff, and like especially from like Square, you know, like you always get the cool
I just
stuff.
apply and then they give me one. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, so
Bye.
like I think I contacted them. I'm like, hey, I'd love to have a review unit, whatever. Da, 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 da. No response whatsoever.
Nothing.
I'm like, yeah, I don't, you know.
Yeah. Do they have like you know, some sites or some companies have like a, you know, like content creator influencer like specific
I
thing?
don't know.
I'm gonna assume they don't, but just because it's like a smaller maybe scale thing.
Yeah, you know, I'm not 100% sure. I just contacted like their press contact
Oh yeah,
email,
there you
so
go.
it's like
Yeah.
that. I just kind of went that route and didn't. I figured it'd be kind of like throwing a resume down a black hole, but I figured it'd be worth
Yeah,
the
it's like when you're applying
space.
to jobs. It's a black hole.
Yeah, exactly. You just never
It's
hear.
great.
You never hear back. Are you applying for jobs right now, or are you having
No,
PTSD
it
from
just
previous
reminds
experiences?
me, yeah, like you send out like 50 and you get a response from like 5. Not
Yeah.
even.
I
It's
remember
funny.
my last job because like I was before I did marketing
Mm-hmm.
for the company I'm at now. I ran. I was like the operations manager at a martial arts school, and before that I worked in film. So like my resume was like really weird, like really
Mm-hmm.
weird. So it's like you can kind of see the marketing with like the film and like doing advertising and marketing for the school that I was working at. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like I like applied for like 100 applications, like I was looking for over a year, and I'm like, if I could just like get an interview, I know I could woo people. Like, and I got a
Mm-hmm.
single after a year, I got a single interview, and then I got the job. And that's the job I've been at for like
Hey,
five
there you
years.
go.
It's like just such a weird resume. Anyways,
Yeah.
so yeah, let us know in the comments here what you guys think about the Playdate. If you think you will be purchasing one to go on a Playdate of your own.
Aha.
Anyways, let's do another another little fluff piece and talk about the Steam Deck. I want
Steam
to know
Deck
about the
looks cool.
Steam Deck. Came out of nowhere, kind of
Yeah,
looks
that seriously came out of
cool. It
nowhere.
was like a week or two after the OLED Switch
Yeah,
dropped.
because everyone was so like not everyone, but like a lot of people are like, let's switch. It's
Yeah.
cool, but like I'm not gonna get it. And then you drop the Steam Deck, and everybody's like, oh, well, I guess I'm buying this now with the money. I
Yeah.
saw so many people being like, oh, I guess I'm gonna pre-order the Steam Deck or buy the Steam Deck with the money that I was saving for like a Switch Pro or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because like there have been so many like there have been like other handheld Switch-esque, hybrid-esque
Sort of like
consoles.
emulation devices, yeah.
Yeah, there's been some of those. There's been some that have been more like PC based, but not as powerful as the Steam
Mm-hmm.
Deck will be once it's released. And I've always thought to myself, you know, like part of the like the clout of PC gaming is like I built this amazing setup that I have for myself, and I'm at my
Yep.
desk, and I have my rainbow keyboard, and I have all this stuff, and I don't need any of your
Mhm.
console crap. Like I can play anything, you know.
Accurate.
So I always thought that those systems would fail if they were released to be, and they
Hmm.
all pretty much have,
Yeah.
except for like some of like the more emulation focused ones,
Yeah.
like the Evercade, for example. But that's not PC gaming; that's just emulation strictly.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Um, so it was interesting though because the Steam Deck has enough power
Hmm.
to satisfy a lot of PC gamers' needs. Not all of them, but enough. And the
Yeah.
Switch being around and being so popular for so long, kind of, kind of is the proof of concept for hybrid gaming, right? So like the Steam Deck can
Hmm.
output like 8K, right, or at least 4K onto your TV. I think probably four. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it's
Accurate.
at least 4K, and like so it's got some power to it, and it's
Mhm.
got the port. I don't know. Like it might
Like
do
people
good.
people are already subscribed to like the sort of functionality of the Switch. Like it's I forget how long it's been out at this point. Like I feel like it's been forever,
I
but
think like
it's like everyone,
2016.
yeah, everyone is so used to, pick up and play on your TV, play on the go, and then it's a complete game changer. I think, well, I don't know if it's a game changer, but like to me, it's like kind of a big deal where it's like, oh, like I can have my PC games or my Steam games in
Hmm.
the same sort of functionality as a Switch. Like that's like pretty valuable, I feel like,
Yeah,
like I'm totally here for it.
there are all of these PlayStation 1 RPGs that I never got to play that I've been playing. Well, I've slowly been playing through and purchased up. Like, so I played, almost done with the first Grandia game. Gonna play the
Mhm.
second one. I got Legend of Mana, which I played back in the day. I've always wanted to play it again, but I just didn't want to bust out my PS2 or my PS1 or my
Mhm.
PS3 and like have to deal with it. You know what I mean? And then I got Xeno no. Excuse me, Saga Frontier like for the
Yeah.
Switch. So it's like the only gaming practically, the only gaming I do is on the Switch because it's just like just busyness. Like my
You lay
daughter's
in bed and play it.
yeah, you lay in bed and play it. Like my daughter's been
Yep.
having like some sleep issues, so
Yeah.
like she decided once she was an amazing sleeper, and one day she decided she wasn't,
Yeah.
and so she would just like screech and scream. So eventually we came to a compromise, and I said, okay. You're going in bed. I'm gonna lay on the couch in the other room where you can still kind of see me. And she go, yeah, yeah, daddy, couch, daddy. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm going over here and then I'll just play like I'll play Grandia for like a half hour or whatever, and it's like, but I'm not gonna like be able to like grab like my PC rig or like
Oh, yeah.
like set up a console
The
like
convenience is so nice.
yeah, the convenience is insane, right? That's
Mhm.
also how I beat Pokemon Crystal because it was just it's handheld and it was just easy to
Yeah, there you
do.
go.
Well, she fell asleep in my arms when she was little and I could just play right.
That's
So
awesome.
it was like a cute little like I'd get like 30 minutes while she napped or whatever, and I'd turn it on a little low so the beeps and bloops
Turn the volume a little bit
wouldn't wake
down.
her up, you know. And so it's like the convenience, I think these days, especially as people get busier and busier, is paramount. um
Mhm.
let me get catch up on some of these comments here.
Yeah.
Steam Deck may be a great on the go option for a lot of PC gamers without a massively expensive laptop. That is, if they can sort out the anti cheat systems on a lot of the big online games. It's a PC Switch, a grown up Switch.
Grown-up Switch.
Has a lot of potential. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested because I feel like there's so much stuff on Steam that I don't participate in. I mean, there's obviously a
Mhm.
lot, like
Yeah.
tens of thousands of games that I just don't play, and I feel like there's a
Mhm.
lot of potential out there. I just don't, you know.
Yeah, like I feel like over the years I've been playing PC games less and less just because like
Hmm.
I'm already in front of my computer so much. Like the last thing, like my excuse, not my excuse, but like my reasoning was like I'm already at my computer for a good chunk of the day. Like I don't want to, if I want to go like game, Like I don't want to go back to like sit in front of my computer, get it all
Yeah.
set up and play it. And especially when the Switch came out, that was so convenient. So like this with the Steam Deck coming out, it makes me like, I'm like, oh, like maybe like I'll buy more stuff on Steam or like I'll play more of my Steam games and like it's just that convenience is sort of like motivating in a way. Like I could see myself playing like I got a code for like the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, like I'm playing through FF1 and I could see myself like playing that on the Steam Deck, just like laying on the couch or something.
Yeah.
And it's so convenient,
Allie's like, yeah, I got a code. I got a code. No big thing. Allie always gets a code. Code for everything. Here I am having to pay for my Square Enix games.
Oh my god.
Like a sucker.
It might get someone in chat said it might get people back into the million plus unplayed games on their Steam list. Yeah, it's like they want people to buy in,
Yeah. And I even have unplayed games on my Steam list. A couple of like were not really unplayed. We're like I played for like a couple minutes because they were like 5 cents or something like that. Where like there's some crazy sale. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I play for like a minute, and I just kind of never come back to it.
Yeah, that's like kind of unrelated, but there's like a PSN sale going on right now, and I got like the .hack like collection or whatever it's called on PS4 for $5. It's 90% off.
Nice.
Like you never get those kind of deals like on Switch or Nintendo stuff or anything like ever. Like it's like PC, like PlayStation, like oh my god.
Yeah, I mean there are some decent deals, but not like that. Not like 90% off. Like they're normally like budget games anyways that they knock down. Maybe like instead of $5, it's like $2, and you're like, oh okay, like something like that.
Or they'll take like games like a little while after their release. If they were 60, they'll knock it down to like 40 or something.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a substantial, but it's not like crazy.
Well, yeah, because I always think of it of like Switch game, brand new game, $60, and then like I think 3DS games when they came out were 40. So that's kind of how I equate it. So.
Yeah, there's like the I don't know if people still talk about this, but the Switch tax because it's like cartridges were more expensive.
Yeah.
Mac Mega mentions the Steam Deck was like $5 deposit to reserve one. So I should have gotten my grandma to reserve one for me as well. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's a tempting prospect.
I think I definitely see myself getting one. It's just a matter of getting like I guess the first version of it, and I feel like eventually down the line they'll probably do like a Switch Lite, or like something like some sort of revision. But I don't know. I could definitely see myself getting one like right off the bat. I don't think the reserve pre-order thing. So can you still do that? I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
There were a couple tiers that you could get in terms of power.
Yeah,
I think it was like anywhere from 400 to like 600 and some, based on what you wanted to do. And I think the
like the different amount of space or whatever. That you have on it. I'd probably just get the cheapest one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was some question as to whether like there'd be lag issues because it would be like running off an SD card or something to that effect for the lowest price one. But I mean, whatever. I'm sure they probably tested it and figured everything out. Let's see here. Yeah, those games are games I might actually play if I had this in a waiting room or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, like my Switch, I love playing when and if I ever am on a flight for work or something. Like I normally would bring my Switch and I'd like knock out a good chunk of a game. It's just it's a convenience thing for me. Or like again, like it's primarily when my kids can't sleep. So it's funny because like when my kids can't sleep, I play more games. It's a weird, when they can. I'm normally hanging out with my wife, but it's like when they can. It's like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna just sit here and do
sitting
nothing.
there like waiting or watching. It's just like, oh, like I'll play a little bit of Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mario Kart's my go-to airplane game. I feel like I gotta mention that. Mario Kart. Right. That's fun. It's so fun.
My son got into Mario Kart, and he actually started doing really good, like on the 50cc level. But it's also like, it can obviously get kind of challenging. But like he's been like super into Mario, very into Mario Kart. And it's like, so I don't have it on Switch. I whipped out the Wii U to
Oh my
start
god.
playing Mario Kart again, and I had gotten at like a swap meet basically for
Yeah.
games, a copy of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for Wii U that I never played,
Oh,
and
good.
because and then I got the Wii U, we started playing it together. It was awesome.
That I haven't played that game specifically, but I've played Mario 3D World where they have the little toad levels. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
It's a
It's so unique.
super relaxing game for the most part. Like it's just kind of
Yeah.
like, I mean, there are moments of tension obviously, but like it's it's like super chill. Like I'm just gonna like waddle
Yeah, and some of the
around.
puzzles and stuff you got to figure out are really neat.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot of fun. Like I actually, I hope he bugs me to play it again because he's kind of a little too. He's like four. He's 4.5. So like it's a little much for him, but he really loves
Yeah.
watching, and he'll like try to direct me and guide me. So it's like I mostly
Oh,
just get to
that's
play.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's cute, although he can get kind of bossy when it comes to doing certain things with Mario. But
Go over there.
all right, so let's move on. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about Pokemon Unite, or do you
Yeah.
want to talk about the atomic bomb that is
Let's do
Activision
Pokemon
Blizzard?
Unite first because that's less of an atomic bomb. But basically, I just
Okay.
want to talk about and get chat's thoughts on Pokemon Unite. If you guys don't know, basically, Pokemon Unite is a MOBA made for. It's out on Switch right now, and I think it comes out on mobile in September. It's made by Tencent. They partnered with like Game Freak, Nintendo to make it, and I played a little bit of it. A lot of my Pokemon streamer friends are absolutely addicted to it. They're constantly streaming it. And it's really fun. I definitely would recommend checking it out. It's free. And I don't know, I was just sort of curious, maybe the chat's thoughts on it. Where like, I think it's a really fun game. And I think a patch actually just came out for it. But I think it's fun. They're 10-minute games. And I can compare it to League of Legends because I play that game. But basically, instead of having towers that you attack to take down, you have these like basketball hoops and you get
Hmm.
these points by killing like jungle camps, so just like enemies that like come out on the field basically, for anyone that hasn't played a MOBA. And you get points by killing enemies, and then you go to their little hoop and you dunk in and you put in your points. It's kind of cute. It's like it's really enticing, or like what's the word I'm looking for? Like I think they did a really good job of making it like baby's first MOBA, I guess, like on
Yeah, yeah.
a the Switch and mobile and stuff. But like as somebody that's played League and then has played this, Pokemon Unite's really nice for like, you get short 10-minute games that like go by really fast. It's really fun, but there's obviously a lot less depth to it. And maybe,
Hmm.
they'll add more as time goes on. So I don't know. I think it's like on one hand, like I like a mindless game where I don't have to think and it's just fun, but also I'm like, oh, I like some of the depth from League. But
Hmm.
so yeah, that came out recently. And there's actually recently a patch too for it. But yeah, Pokemon Unite, pretty cool.
So because I was watching it, like
Yeah.
gameplay and some reviews and stuff, because I was vaguely
Hmm.
aware of its existence. I'm like, I probably should research this.
Yeah.
So I guess one thing that comes two things I wanted to ask you. The first is, so how, I mean, obviously you're playing as Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Um, how Pokemon does it feel? Like it feels so frantic compared, like it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like Pokemon. I mean, like not
It
the traditional turn-based RPG, obviously, but like in terms of like the strategy and like some of the aspects in terms of like how you'd win a battle, like
I
the rock
think
paper scissors
how they
mechanic.
did, yeah, how they created the character move sets, I think is very Pokemon. I think they did a really good job on that. So, like, Pikachu's, like, for example, Pikachu's a ranged attacker and he shoots little thunderbolts and stuff, and he has all his different moves. Like, Alola Ninetales is another really cool example of, like, it has all these ice moves that look really cool and everything. Yeah, it's Ice Psychic, right? I forget. I haven't played Alola Ninetales. I've only watched it, but so I think they were really faithful about that and did a good job of like executing that with like the characters and the move sets and everything. Like Snorlax is really funny. I think like I don't know if it's his alt move or like one of his moves. He literally just like sits down in the middle of the field, just like goes to sleep. But I think in terms of like the game feeling like Pokemon for the other aspects, like you can definitely tell like it's Tencent. I don't mean that in like a bad way, but like they know what they're doing. As much as like people they definitely do some sketchy stuff. That we all know that. But in terms of the game, you can tell they know what they're doing when it comes to like mobile games like this. So like
Hmm.
the UI is really clean, all the graphics are really clean. Yes, you have stuff on the like home screen that like it's like, oh, get your jewels or whatever they're called, like all those sort of like microtransaction-y stuff.
Yeah.
So like on that side of it, like, you know, I feel like it definitely feels different, like because there's like a certain field when you play like a main series Pokemon game that like Game Freak made, because there's a lot of good things that they do with it, you know, in terms of the design and the UI and how it functions. Then there's some other things that you're just used to that are bad, that you've been used to because you've played the games for so long that you're just like, oh, I've just accepted this at this point. So it's kind of like a fresh take on it, I guess, even though it's like a freaking, you know, it's a Pokemon MOBA. Who expected that?
Yeah.
But
so you can play it on mobile and Switch, right?
yeah, it comes out. So it's on Switch right now for free,
Okay.
and then it comes out on phones in September.
Okay. So
Which is interesting. That's interesting that they did that.
Yeah.
I guess they knew that the majority of people that are like diehard fans like would probably play it on Switch first and would want to play it on Switch versus phone. So I think that's smart that they did that. So
Yeah, though I think eventually they're going to try to capture that Pokemon Go audience, right?
yeah, I mean that one
Hence bringing it to mobile. I mean, a very different type of game, but like since that audience is already there.
But it's still under that like Pokemon mobile umbrella because they have all those like different apps and stuff.
So what did you can you like tell me about the microtransactions? I heard that there's some complaining about that, where it's like you can kind of get edges in battle, but you can't like it doesn't make you outright win.
I haven't looked much into it myself because I refuse to pay for that kind of stuff. But I've heard some of it is a little bit pay to win. And then the other side of it is like obviously you can buy like cute clothes for your characters. You can buy like skins for your characters. So like I think what is it, like Venusaur or one of the other Pokemon has like this really cute little like beach outfit where he's got a little like swimsuit and goggles or something like that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I think they look cute. They look good, but like I'm not gonna spend the money on it. Like I refuse. So
nice. Yeah, so you said that like it was like 10-minute little bouts, and like how much staying power do you think it has?
I feel like, I don't know, it's had such a strong start, like at least from what I've seen in like the Pokemon community with the people that I know. I feel like it has a really strong start, and I could see it, you know, there's even been people that, you know, play League that are like pros that have like checked it out. Yeah. Not that I necessarily think they're going to stick with it, but I think there's definitely going to be some sort of, you know, there's always some sort of competitive scene, but I think it'll definitely have some sort of staying power, at least for the people that are like diehard for it. And they're like, oh, like we're going to make a team, like we're going to be competitive about it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I was listening to another podcast the other day and they're like, oh, what if they have Pokemon Unite at Pokemon Worlds? Because what they did in the past, normally it's just the TCG and the video games at Worlds, the big World Championship. And they've had Pokken there. I don't know if they had Pokken last time they did Worlds, but like they added it when that game came out. So now I wonder, and they've had Pokemon Go stuff at Worlds. So now it's like, oh, they're going to have Pokemon Unite? Like they totally should. That would be awesome. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But that'd be really neat because that would also help with its sort of like staying power if it has that like community.
Keep trying. I know like with Go, they keep like adding, like doing updates and adjusting and this and that, trying to keep some staying power with it. So obviously if they keep, I don't know, just like throwing in like kind of the way that like I hate to compare it to this, but almost just like Animal Crossing, where it's like they keep kind of just adding random crap.
Well, like, oh my god, I'm so tilted about New Horizons lately because like as someone that's played since the DS one, like there's not that I'm saying they should add. I'm gonna go on a rant real quick. Not saying they should add. Everyone brace yourself. Not saying they should add every old feature from all the old games into New Horizons, but there's like certain things that just aren't in New Horizons that have like no explanation. Like you can't upgrade the Nook store. Like you can't upgrade it up past the level that's out right now. There's certain furniture sets that aren't even in the game that were like pretty big staples in like the previous games. Those are like the two big examples. And then they're like, you know, they tweeted like a week or two ago, like, oh, we're going to have the fireworks event again, like in August. Like, I get it. Like it's a yearly event, so it makes sense. And like, they just barely added some extra new items for it. And that's it. Like, there's so much stuff that's missing. And it's like, what are we, like a year-ish or something into the game being out? And like, I'm a diehard Animal Crossing person and I haven't even been playing it. Like, I'm just like, what's the point? Like, it's all the same stuff. Like they haven't added everything back in. So there's my rant.
You're a Animal Crossing heretic, clearly.
I know. Well, hey, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, so that's how I've gotten my kick. There's housing in that game. There's decorating. You can customize your characters' clothes. Like, it's great. So
it's practically Animal Crossing. So
it really is, except it's an MMO and you can battle and craft and do all this stuff.
Yeah,
so.
a little. Yeah, you get some of that fighting itch taken care of as well.
Yeah. It's like if imagine if Animal Crossing had like freaking like Zelda dungeons or something.
That'd be killer. I mean, that'd be killer if you
or mining or something like that. Where you go.
If they ever did like a Zelda style like dungeon maker type game, I know they had like elements of that vaguely in what was it, Link's Awakening for the Switch, but like if they were to do something like that, but like incorporate it into like almost like kind of remind, again, going back to the 64 disc drive, they had all of these like Mario artist games that you were supposed to connect together to do different things, right? So you had Paint, you had Polygon, you had Talent Studio, the Connection, disc, what have you. So it's like, if you could do something with Animal Crossing where it's like, yeah, you have your Animal Crossing thing, but you can also like send them off on adventures to do X, Y, or Z, or you can battle. Like it kind of wouldn't be Animal Crossing; it'd have to be like its own thing.
It'd be like a spin-off.
Yeah, it's like that'd be too off. Animal fighting,
Animal Crossing.
There you go.
Legend of Animal Crossing. Legend of Tom Nook.
Yeah.
Legend of Tom Nook.
I mean, like, it's just something where it's like it gives it a little bit more spice, where it's like you can do all the stuff for the most part. You can do an Animal Crossing, but like you can go and also like craft and like visit other islands and just slaughter them.
Have you ever played or heard of Fantasy Life on the 3DS? It's kind of exactly what we're talking about.
Okay.
It's a mix of like Zelda and Animal Crossing. It's adorable. Highly recommend that game on 3D. It's my favorite non-Pokemon game on Fantasy Life on 3DS.
Life. Okay.
It's my favorite non-Pokemon game on 3DS, and that's saying something. So it's like Zelda mixed with Animal Crossing.
I'm writing it down. That might be
it's like got some RPG stuff in it. So pray return to the waking sand. Well. I appreciate the 14 joke.
The Final Fantasy 14. Okay. There was a pretty important comment here I wanted to go back to real quick. Okay, yeah. Snowblade asks, Tony, what shoes are you wearing?
Very important question.
I am not wearing shoes. I am wearing low-cut socks that cut off at the ankle. Very good for if you're wearing shorts, anything sort of like semi-athletic, but you still want to look nice. They're red mesh that lead into gray on the bottom and light gray on the top, on the heel and the toes. So you actually have 3 different colors. They're nice. I got them in a pack where the colors kind of alternate, but it's like the heel, the toes are different colors. The top meshes into a different color on the bottom. So that way, I'll try to, I'm not doing it today, but I'll try to coordinate. If I'm wearing a red shirt, I'll do the red. It's not too much red. It's just a little bit of red, or like blue and blue or green and green. You know how it goes.
Matchy.
Yeah, very very matchy. Waking Sands crying face. Anyways, I hope that satisfied your itch for knowing. But yeah, I might actually have to check out that Fantasy Life.
I love that game so much. It's got a cute little art style. Yeah. Like it's really nice. I don't think it's like super expensive on 3DS. So
okay, I'll definitely have to check it out. If not, I guess emulation is always an option.
That too.
Although I won't have the sweet 3D effect. So
God, I hate the 3D.
Really? 3D. I know a lot of people do.
It makes me like motion sick. Like I can't.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have that effect with me, so I kind of like it.
It's cool, but like I can't play with it more than like a minute.
Yeah, I love gimmicks. So long as it's
not
like
I do love the gimmicks, just not this one.
Yeah, it's just so long. I mean, if that gimmick isn't like the sole thing about the game, but it's like I don't know, like 3D, like I could live without it, but it's like it's just kind of neat for me. And it bothered a lot of people's eyes, like you said.
Yeah, I remember when the 3DS, I remember when, or not when it first came out, but when I wanted to get one, I think it was like 2013. It was right before Pokemon like X and Y came out, and maybe like Animal Crossing or something. And I was like, man, I wish they had a 3DS that didn't have 3D. And then like a year or two later, the 2DS comes out, which I did have a 2DS at one point, but I wish they would make a 3DS that didn't have the 3D versus just like the 2DS is just like a brick.
Yeah. Those are really cheap right now too.
They're like $90 or something. Like if you get it from Nintendo site.
Yeah. Although I know what you mean in terms of like the clamshell, but what I was gonna say before I realized that was, you know, every 3DS can be a 2DS if you just turn the slider down. But then I realized you meant the form factor, so I couldn't use my jabbing
Plus, it would be anymore. I was like, oh, it would be cheaper if they just took out the 3D. Like, I just want the clamshell without the 3D, but then I just turn it off. I just have it off all the time.
Yeah. So, I played the hell out of my 3DS when I was actively utilizing it. Right now, it's only Switch, but actually Switch, and then I was doing a lot of Game Boy Color because I got a nice modded Game Boy Color from our mutual friend on Instagram, and I was going through like the Dragon Quest games, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but also with Dragon Quest 2, I like gave up and just had to cheat like hell. Like I ended up getting a game because the game is nerfed from the NES version, but it's still like insanely difficult. Like I maxed out the majority of my stats, and the last dungeon was still giving me trouble and like insta killing me. It's like how do you do this? Like what do you expect from me? Like this is insane.
Oh my god.
There was a mention of Street Pass. I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Kotaku or some other gaming news publication. Basically, was like so and so, some individual took a trip out to New York City with Street Pass on and spent the whole day walking around and got 0 connections. It was just like the state of affairs for the 3DS.
Yeah, I saw on Reddit a similar post, except they got 1 Street Pass and it was a very inappropriate name, but it was pretty funny. Suck a bleep, but it was pretty funny. They were like, "Oh, I wish I got more Street Passes," and
then it was that, and then you got, and that's what you get. Yeah,
that's what you get.
What a beautiful and perfect and apt transition into our next topic.
God. Oh no!
Let's talk about Activision Blizzard.
Oh, it's dumpster fire.
So, for those of you that are unaware,
under a rock,
who've been living under a rock,
yes,
who maybe had their Street Pass name as a certain something.
Oh God.
Activision Blizzard is being sued by the state of California for I don't know the exact legal term, but basically it's like gross misconduct in the workplace, harassment, sexual harassment, basically just sort of fostering a quote-unquote frat boys club culture. And there's so many things that we can get into, which we can and will, but functionally it's just a lot of women have come forward since this point in time telling their stories, and just there's been walkouts and strikes, and the CEO or president or both recently resigned.
Yeah, so did their HR person too.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah. HR can be a beautiful thing, but sometimes HR is there to help the company, not you. So if that was the case in this particular instance, I'm sure a lot of these complaints went unnoticed. And or maybe I have no idea who the HR person was, but if the higher ups didn't care, it'd be pretty tough to work in HR when you're like trying to field these complaints and nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But again, I don't know what the situation was. Maybe it was HR that was also part of the issue, so I can't really speak to it at all. Yeah. So take it from there.
I wish I could say I was surprised when all of this came out, but obviously, like, unfortunately, like, I guess the severity of some of the stuff that's like in like the lawsuit legal papers, whatever you want to call it, like that was like whoa. But like in terms of like the whole frat boys club stuff, like obviously like with gaming in general, whether it's like the gaming community, just like normal people like playing video games community, but also like the gaming industry of people actually making the games, like it doesn't shock me at all, unfortunately. And it's just like not that this kind of stuff can't happen like in
Hmm.
other industries, but it makes me kind of glad that like because I considered like it'd be cool to like work in games obviously, and like I worked
Yeah.
at Twitch for a little bit, but I'm kind of, again, not that it can't happen anywhere else, but I'm glad that I seeing this kind of stuff, it kind of makes me glad that I just have like a normal boring job. you know
Yeah.
like, but God, it's just
Yeah.
horrible.
I mean, I think per what you're saying, it's like, obviously it can happen anywhere, but I do think that with the gaming industry, it's been kind of a male dominated. I mean,
Yep.
a lot of industries are male dominated. But I think gaming happens to be one of them. A lot of
Hmm.
demographically, most gamers are male. I don't know the exact breakdown, but like you
It's like
often,
the people making them, mostly guys, and then most people consuming them have always been guys. Up
yeah,
until I feel like recently, where it's kind of sort of started to even out, at least on like the playing side. I can't
yeah.
speak for the dev side of it, but
I feel like more women are getting more into gaming, and it's
yeah,
less likely that if you know, let's say younger version of Ali goes on Twitch, YouTube, or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know when you started, but let's say it was 10, 15 years ago, a younger imaginary version of yourself.
yeah.
You transport yourself back in time, or even 5 years ago, whatever. Like,
Well, I started like 6 years ago. There's
sure,
way less girls like
yeah,
streaming
but it's like
and doing YouTube.
you're suddenly like, instead of just like a girl that plays games, you're like a gamer girl. You know what I mean? Like because
Hmm.
it's so like
My favorite
yeah,
term.
it's like so abnormal. It's like abnormal. Like
Yeah,
right
yeah,
for the culture,
exactly.
it's like you know, it's it's so strange that like it's
Yeah,
not a
like on
guy,
Twitch
so she's a
even.
gamer
Like
girl.
people would be like, "Oh, like there's a girl on Twitch." Like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I just like playing old games." Like, so, hello.
It's like what
I'm
the
just here.
hell,
That's what I'm here for.
I'm just here playing games. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like it's just kind of one of those things where it's like I don't know, like it's was surprising and like obviously you have like a lot of like dudes like flocking to like women creators, but it's like it's a good thing that there's more of them to
Hmm.
like just normalize it, but also kind of like spread the crazies out more. Just saying
Yeah,
that
no, that's
it's
a good
like
point. Yeah, spread the
my
crazies out
god,
more. That's a
it's
good.
not good, but it's like
Well, that's a good way of summing it.
I mean, it's a. I kind of said that like jokingly, but like,
No, I get what you
but
mean.
like, it's like it's kind of it's just kind of unfair, that it's like
Yeah,
I don't know, I can't speak to it totally because I'm not I'm a dude that's been
yeah.
doing this and I don't have to deal with any of that crap,
Mhm.
that you would have to. But either way, back to
Yeah, back
Activision
to
Blizzard. So many things.
so
so
many things.
so
Uh,
oh like I kept learning more about it and I kept
yeah.
like for example in like 2018 there was the IT guy that set up the cameras in the unisex
Yeah,
bathroom to
I
point it
heard
to the
about that.
toilet.
That was like a new thing that came out.
So I think with all of the construct of everything that's going on, I think you can maybe assume that he's like it was unisex, so he's probably like hoping for women but getting both. I don't know, but like and then he was caught after 3 weeks, and it's
It's just
like,
like,
what the
why?
fuck?
Why? Why?
It's so bad, you know.
Yeah.
Um, did you hear? And maybe some people in the chat can also uh chime in a little bit, but oh, actually, there's a good one. The bigger the company and the more money involved, the harder it is to tackle something like this because it can jeopardize the
Hmm.
company and people's jobs. Yeah, I mean, it can. I mean, but it kind of should jeopardize people's jobs, especially if they're the
Yeah.
ones, you know, that are the issue. These
Hmm.
groups of individuals either need to be broken up or they need to be fired. I mean, depending on the severity of what they've done, obviously,
Yeah.
um, or you know, sent to like have a suspension without pay and get some counseling or something. I don't know. Like again, it depends on the
Yeah.
severity. Obviously, some people just
Hmm.
need to be outright fired, and I don't know exactly what every individual did. Um,
Yeah.
but did you hear about the woman who was basically in cybersecurity and went to the Activision Blizzard company like trade show, job show thing?
Mm-mm. What
Okay.
happened?
So this is Allie's like, um, I wish all those guys get blacklisted. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know ultimately what happened to them, but I certainly don't hope they get any sort of um, reward. They need to pay.
Yeah.
They need to pay for what they've done. Um, anyways, so basically the story goes as this: there's this like job show in the tech
Mhm.
industry that Activision Blizzard was part of. I don't know if it was maybe just Blizzard at the time or what have you, but it
Mhm.
was a couple years back, not sure. But this woman goes there and she was basically she does penetration testing. So what that is like hackers go in
Yeah.
and try to attack your server to see if it is vulnerable. And of
Mhm.
course, having the name penetration testing, the good people at Activision Blizzard would not let that go, even though that's what they were there to hire people for.
Mhm.
So basically, a woman comes up and they are asking her about her experiences with penetration and how
Oh god.
actively, and if she was lost and if she was there with her boyfriend.
Oh
So
no. Ah.
if like have you gone to the wrong booth? Are you sure you're not here with your male who's going to be escorting
Yeah,
you?
someone, oh my God, someone said that to me like a couple years ago. I think
Yeah,
it was like, oh, I think it was, I still remember it because I don't know, it takes a lot to like kind of make me mad. And they said, like, oh,
yeah.
did your boyfriend get you into gaming? And I was like, shut up.
What the
Like,
hell?
no, like, why would I buy all these like expensive retro games? Because one, because of a guy, but two,
Yeah,
because like I need validation from like the internet or something.
yeah.
It's so funny. Oh my
I
god.
mean, I could
But,
understand, like someone who's a childhood friend, like introduces you into gaming or something.
yeah,
So,
or like
you know,
my brother was the one like he had the Game Boy, so like I was the one that played it, and then I got
yeah.
into it. You know,
But
like
like
yeah,
you can like get into things on your own terms and your own
yeah.
time,
It's
like
just
without having to
funny. Yeah,
like require like an adult male to like be the one who,
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
carried you over the threshold into gaming.
Oh my god. Trying to find this one comment in chat. Someone had mentioned like from wholesome nerds to cocky tryhard, shame to see Blizzard. Um, shame to see Blizzard finally not be run by any of the old schoolers. So it's interesting that you bring that up where it's like, I mean, I guess you could kind of talk about maybe game companies in general in
Mm,
terms of like contributing to this sort of like culture, but like you see it where most like people into gaming are like game devs, like we're all a bunch of nerds, like
mm,
maybe weren't popular in school, whatever, like whatever it may be. And then let's say you work at this really big company and you make this really big game, it gets popular, and let's say you're one of the like customer facing like people, let's say you're like a community manager or like the main dev or producer or something like that.
mm,
Your ego gets built up, and everybody keeps praising you and saying you do all these great things, and like you kind of go from this like awkward nerd to like maybe this, again, this is like generalizing, but you go from like awkward nerd to like this like huge ego like dude bro that think they can do no wrong. And
mm.
then that tumbles into a situation like this where it's like you're trying to like do things you're not supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
especially like with women and stuff. So it's really interesting. I mean, I feel like nowadays with like new companies and like game developers and stuff, it's a lot more like diverse and inclusive and stuff, which is good. But not saying the part I just talked about, the negative stuff, obviously
Yeah.
that kind of stuff clearly still like lingers, but because I feel like it's not going to be overnight where the culture or the mindset like changes.
Yeah.
um but
I think to your point, not all but many legacy game companies have
yeah, yeah,
have some of that
exactly.
some of that issue. I mean, like, obviously, Atari back in the day had a lot of those issues. Atari now
Hmm.
is just a shell of whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
So you can't really
Yeah.
even speak to it almost. But I mean, I think a lot of to my understanding, I could be wrong. A lot of the
Yeah.
newer indie like game devs that are like up and coming are definitely a lot more less likely to ask you if your boyfriend got you into gaming or like taught you how to code or something. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
very important and very related question here from
Mhm.
Strangestio. Can we send beers in to try? No, you can't ship alcohol, to my knowledge. At least not to a private address. I think you'd have to be like a
Dang.
business or something. Um,
Uh,
but yes. So, I guess I'll tell that story of that company
yeah.
that I was telling you earlier. So I'd be real careful here. I'm not going to mention the company name or the guy. I don't really know all of the people involved. But anyways, point is that some individual sent me like a cache of like game demos, and it was found on this old archive. And on the archive was also just like it was not like like Activision Blizzard, where it was like this long history of like abuse or what have you. But it was like just kind of like reinforced like this sort of like boys club scenario. Basically, they were doing like in hotel sort of like trade. It was almost like a trade show, but it was just like
Mhm.
a single like banquet hall. I'm not sure what they were doing. They were like showcasing some games or some features or something. There wasn't a lot of context for it.
Mhm.
But they had hired in basically a bunch of strippers. Like not to actively strip, but to just like be like very scantily clad booth babes. So it wasn't like X-rated. It was like hard PG-13 kind of thing.
Mhm.
And basically they had all these pictures of these girls like, being booth babes like at their own event. Like this their
Mhm.
own small event that they
Yeah.
did. And then there were also like pictures of some of these women like putting on their makeup like in a hotel room and such, which is like,
So
why
weird.
were you in the hotel room with her?
Yeah.
Um, so it was sketchy for sure.
Mhm.
Again, no evidence of anything illegal occurring, but like
Yeah.
it was just one of those things where it's like I can't imagine at my work doing
Doing
anything
that.
like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I can't fathom like like I mean being around my coworkers or like bosses or what have you. I mean my bosses are all women, but like
Yeah.
uh so like there's less of that boys clubby sort of
Yeah.
situation because there's it's more integrated. But
Mhm.
regardless, like you just like that would like be such for the normal corporate environment. That would be such
That'd be
an
so weird.
awkward situation, right?
Yeah, that reminds me of when I go back and like watch some old E3 videos,
Mm,
and I feel like it's always such like a culture shock whenever
yeah.
like you're just watching the video just like normal, and then like see like Booth Babe like in the video or in the
Yeah, yeah.
distance or something. I'm like, whoa, like that's so crazy.
It's
But
like
like
an
I mean that
archaic
was
thing,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's so wild to like I mean it's great that obviously like I feel like that's not really a thing anymore, but
Yeah.
or at least a normal thing. So yeah, it's so bizarre, you
Yeah.
know?
It's definitely if you've been without it for a long time, it's strange to see it, I think.
Hmm.
And I think it's even stranger if you're like, if your boss sort of tell you, "Hey, Allie, tomorrow when you come in, we're doing this event. Can you take pictures of these strippers as they get ready?" Like,
Sure. God.
you know what I mean? Like what kind of conversation is it? But the thing is like clearly the
Mm.
individual that worked at this company, um, this was probably I don't know if it was like a common occurrence necessarily, but it was certainly an occurrence that it wasn't like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah,
It's
that'd be
just like
fun,
normal, like I'm
yeah,
sure you've probably even done it before, but like I feel like that's sort of kind of like the stark difference of like, if you were just at like a normal
yeah,
whatever industry job versus like gaming where like that was, sort of normalized. And then all of that kind of stuff and other things, ball it all together. And that contributes to the sort of like boys sort of club
Yeah.
you see and like the stuff going on at Blizzard and everything. So,
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I just think it's so bizarre to think that that's normal for like a. I mean, I guess it's it's like especially like a work environment. It's so strange.
yeah.
So
There's someone
strange.
in chat had a really good comment. It's like a legacy company thing. I've worked for plenty of companies with a boys club mentality. It's super toxic, way more prevalent outside of gaming. It's more so in tech. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me too.
Yeah.
That sort of thing is like prevalent in tech just because like not that they're I mean they're kind of like similarly related,
Yeah,
but
they're pretty
also again
similar.
that's just another it's mostly dudes and blah
Yeah.
blah blah and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, gaming. Gaming is tech, right?
Yeah.
It's a subset of the tech industry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just sort of like a herd mentality, I guess. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
with individuals that think a certain way for X amount of time, and it just kind of becomes a little bit more
Well, like you
normal.
want to, let's say you're new to a company like this gaming company and you're like, "Oh, my dream job." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's say, you go to some like work event and they're doing, all these like messed up things and like, yes, people should speak up and everything. But, I could see someone maybe in a situation where like let's say they're new, they want to like get along with everyone and
Yeah.
they don't want to have a bad impression and you just sort of like quietly maybe ignore some of the sketchy stuff going on
Yeah.
um and then that just like snowballs
Yeah. Well, not to mention they were actively, especially at really got to do what you do and drink water during these stuff of gin, but
yes you should.
um there's a little ice melt there. Anyways, yeah, I mean, they're also just actively treating people like garbage.
Yeah.
In addition to just like, oh, some sketchy things happen here and there, whatever. Which is not whatever, but you know what I mean. Like it's
Yeah.
they were like there were certain people that were like actively being like harassed and such. It was like just nasty stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like it's I think hopefully
Mhm.
hopefully this will be a great awakening for tech and for the
Yeah.
gaming industry, and hopefully the other CEOs and HR departments throughout the industry and all industries, but especially tech and gaming, are like, oh
Mhm.
shit, like we need to start like auditing like now,
Mhm.
and like get this, see if this is an issue in our company, and if it is, get it taken care of as soon as possible, and you
Mhm.
know apologize to anyone who's been in the crosshairs, I guess. I mean, I don't even know what you do
Yeah.
at that point. I don't know how it would even be handled, really. I'm just kind of
Mhm.
spitballing like some very
Yeah.
basic human decency stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's I don't even know how you would necessarily handle it.
Mhm.
Um sorry, reading some comments here. Yeah, there's a individual saying passionate about Diablo, but you know, might cancel my pre-order until
Mhm.
they fix the situation. Because it's like, it's you also got to think about all these people that are like, love your games, and it's like you're kind of betraying them, you know?
Yeah, it's also tough too. I've seen a lot of discourse about, especially like in WoW, where it's like there's the people, you have the camp of people that like, instantly cancel your sub, like I'm never playing this again, like I
Yeah,
don't want to support that. And then you have people that like, they obviously don't like what's going on, but they still enjoy the game,
yeah,
but also they're like the argument is, oh, there's people, at Blizzard that they had nothing to do with this and that are good people that like are working on the game. Sort of like, I don't want to say what's the word I'm trying to look for. I don't want to say grunts. That's not the word I'm looking for. But like, not the high
yeah,
level people like, your dude that's like, I don't know, working on making like a model for a game
yeah,
or some texture, so it's like you kind of have, obviously it's not that black and white. Because I see both sides of it, and I'm not here to like take a side because I don't play any Blizzard games,
yeah.
so or like Activision Blizzard stuff. But as somebody that's sort of at least an outsider to that community, like I'm not involved in any of those games, I
Hmm.
think it's I think it's interesting where you have those sort of two sides, and I'm sure there's other viewpoints too, but
Yeah. It'd almost be like if suddenly we learned that Nintendo owned a bunch of love hotels. Oh wait, they do.
Oh wait, they
Or
do.
did. Maybe they sold them. I don't know.
I don't know.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I think, obviously it's I think it's totally unfair to like say every obviously employee there is a horrible
Oh
or whatever.
yeah,
No, it's like clearly not the case. There's just a handful of people that are awful, and a culture on the higher end that's allowed and perpetuated this to like
yeah.
what's the term when you're making coffee? Percolate. It's been percolating for a long
Percolate.
time, and it's not a good thing
Yes.
because it keeps growing, and it has been growing within it and getting
Hmm.
worse and what have you. And like
Yeah.
obviously, people have been really hurt by it, so it's like it's just a shitty
Yeah, and
situation.
also, yeah, just talking about too, like, because I see people talking about it in chat where it's like, it's the people that are, higher up or more responsible for things that like let things slide and like, doing that behavior and stuff. And I think it's worth mentioning there was a walkout. I think was it last week or the other day?
Yeah,
That was like organized like in real life and over social media and everything. That was really great to
yeah,
see all the support for that. So it's also just puts it in perspective that like, you know, a lot of people that have like, oh, I work at like Blizzard, like in their bio, or
yeah.
people that used to work there, they're all like standing up obviously, against this horrible situation
Hmm.
and like working conditions and everything. So if you see any of that stuff on like social media, definitely like check it out or
Yeah,
support it. But
yeah. They were definitely
hopefully
all
things change.
the
I hope.
the
I
yeah.
hope.
We'll see what happens.
Please. Well, because a lot of people are saying too, with like the CEO or whatever stepping down, people on Reddit were all just like, "Oh, he's the sacrificial lamb." Like they're just doing this because
Hmm.
PR. So like, who knows? But
Yeah, it's
uh,
hard to tell what his involvement was or wasn't, or what his awareness was or wasn't. But at the end of the day, if you're the CEO, it's your responsibility, right?
exactly.
So it's like even if he wasn't aware, he still should have made himself aware. You know what I mean? Like it's. So I don't know if he's a sacrificial lamb or, I mean, regardless, um, it's you can't. I mean, kind of in a sense, you can't really be like continue the company and be like, yep, all the higher ups are still here. Yeah, you kind of
Yeah,
have to boot some of the biggins because,
it all trickles down.
yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's I don't know,
It's
Allie.
complicated. I really just at the end of the day, I hope things change. Not only obviously at like Blizzard, but for the gaming, industry in general,
Yeah,
because, I'm sure there's, obviously other maybe stories or, different companies that people just haven't spoken up about or, haven't blown up as much. So hopefully, it brings some kind of good change. Because and it's nice to see that the majority of like the internet or like social media, Reddit, Twitter, like obviously, or
hmm,
like thankfully the majority of people are like, oh my god, like it's really messed up, like,
yeah,
they're in support of like the people that are trying to like make change and everything. You just get your very very vocal minority of people that are being stupid about it, but so it restores a little bit of faith in humanity, I guess.
Have there
Because
been too
usually the
many
internet is
people?
like the Wild West.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
have there been too many people that have been defending Activision
I don't
Blizzard?
think so. I haven't really seen anything. But I figured it was just, good to mention that, have some faith in the world, I guess.
Hopefully,
The internet.
we'll see.
The internet's wild.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to present this in sort of like an entertaining way.
Mm.
Um, like because obviously this is for news and entertainment and stuff, so it's like you wanna just so everyone's aware, like it's kind of one of those things where it's like we probably got a little bit more serious on this section because it was a
Yeah.
little bit more serious of a topic.
Yeah.
So hope we didn't lose anyone, but it is
Good.
what it is. This is the
Yeah.
situation at hand,
I think it's
unfortunately.
important to like bring awareness.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. um because people have to understand that it's this is happening.
Yeah, it's real
It's a
people
sick.
behind like the games,
Yeah.
that you play.
Just catching up with some comments here.
Need to fill up my water bottle. I'm running out of water.
Uh-oh.
I got enough left, I think.
Okay.
I'll survive.
Okay, cool. So
Cool.
let's switch over to a more cheery note. And Allie,
Yeah.
what have you been working on? What is on your
What's on my radar?
release agenda,
Yeah.
your radar?
The
What have you been
agenda.
streaming?
So I recorded 2 videos the other day. I did a new game pickups video, and then
Okay.
I also did a Q&A of like I basically was like, hey guys, ask me any questions about like retro gaming collecting. Because like I'm sure you've experienced this too. You get asked a lot of the same questions over and over. So
Uh,
it's like, oh, it'd be fun to do a video about it. So I have those recorded. I just need to edit them. But that's what's up for YouTube. And then on Twitch, I've been doing. I just started Final Fantasy One, the Pixel Remaster. That's been really fun so far. And then I've been addicted to Final Fantasy 14. So that
we
I've been
know.
streaming that.
Everyone
Yeah.
online knows.
Yes. And then in terms of off stream, I started a new save file in Pokemon Emerald. So
Oh,
that's been fun.
okay.
So I've been playing that because I got a Game Boy Micro,
Oh,
which I
nice.
never thought I would have one, but it's really cool.
Is it?
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like it's I have small hands, so it's perfect for me, but like it is very much a novelty, but like it's so fun because it's so
The
little.
the screen was like the best of the best for
Yeah,
that
it's a really
run of
good
Game Boy
screen.
Advances.
It's so funny when you go from playing on the micro and then I play on like my modded Game Boy Advance that has
Hmm.
like the backlit screen. It's like I'm playing on a TV because the
Yeah, it's like
screen's so it's like
look
when you
at
go from Switch handheld to the TV.
yeah, it's
That's
like
what it's like.
look at the detail. Like it's
Oh, it's
wild.
so nice.
So
I
without
love the GBA.
without revealing the answers to the
Yeah.
questions, what were a couple of the questions that you got that you'll be
Yeah.
fielding in your Q&A?
Yeah, so like a lot of people ask like, oh, like what got you into like, gaming in general, and then what got you into like collecting, what was like the first game you played, what's like the favorite like item in your collection or whatever, kind of like stuff like that. Or just like tips on like how to, I guess, like get into like game collecting or whatever, but sort of like stuff like that. That's like the general sort of gist of it.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. Anything else you want to discuss before I ramble on about random
Um,
nonsense?
I think that's all I have coming up. I mean, my current stream schedule is I stream 3 times a week at 6 p.m. Eastern. So twitch.tv/Ali.
And there are links
And
in the description
yeah,
for that, and also the
description.
handle is on screen as well. So if you are
Yeah.
not already subscribed to her, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, I'm just thinking, I don't think I have anything else. I'm trying to, like, oh, I got a Game Boy Pocket recently. That's cool. That's
So yeah,
it. I can't think of anything else.
if you're not,
I'm probably gonna after this. I'll be like, oh, I forgot. No,
oh
I'm kidding.
no, oh no. But yeah,
But
make sure if you're not already following Ellie on Twitch or YouTube that you subscribe to her, follow her on Twitch, all that good stuff. They're all in the links
yeah,
below. She's also on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff.
all that fun stuff.
So as far as Hard4Games goes, I have
What you got coming up?
man, I don't even know. Like it's I've been working on a lot of stuff, and it's like
Hmm.
it's been very strange. So this I think this Saturday, if I can get it together, this
Yeah.
Saturday's video is going to be about the GBS unit, which I don't know if you can see it. Sorry, I have like these are like my room is converted into a bedroom practically right now, so it's half an office, half a bedroom. So like you have like a
Oh my
rack of
god.
clothes over there. Anyway, so this is the GBS unit right here. It's a testing station,
Hmm.
and it has a bunch. Oh wow, it's real a big old schnoz here. Yeah, it's not my best
Get the profile shot.
not my best angle. But anyways, so developer Jeff sent that over to me, and we've been trying to get it to work. But fun fact, no one's ever gotten one to work. There's one
What is
other.
it?
Where is it?
Like,
Or what
no,
is it?
what is it? Yeah.
As I've experimented with it, the more I've experimented with it, the less I know. Um,
Okay. That's fair.
so originally I thought it was supposed to hook up and allow you to test and run like aging software, which is like diagnostic stuff for like Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah.
I don't and like play them simultaneously because there's like buttons to like run the tests and stuff on the side.
Huh.
But again, like, let's see if I can get this over here without. Um, yeah. So, but it's. I don't know if that's what it does. It's
That's
weird.
interesting.
Nothing I've done has been able to get it to boot. There's 3 cartridges involved, a GameCube, one half of an upside down GameCube that's sticking back up out of it, circuitry in the box, wires going from one GameCube to the other half of a GameCube, and then a Game Boy player that you put
Okay, I was gonna
on.
ask if a Game Boy player was involved.
Yeah, it didn't come with it, but I had my own. It's supposed to be on there.
Yeah.
And so there's testing software, and the whole thing is connected via this corded like memory card right here that goes in, connects to a board, and then goes in there. But the GameCube doesn't read a Game Boy player via its memory card. So there's a lot of stuff going on here.
That's cool. Also, like, what the heck?
It's cool, but you know, like that shot in Apocalypse Now with the fan. I don't know if you've ever seen it, where it's like a lot of the times they use this trope in movies now, where it's like someone's depressed or something, and they'll have a shot of them, like the camera's here, then there's a fan, and then there's them like laying on a bed, and the fan blades go.
Oh yeah.
You know. So I have a similar shot, but it's like I'm looking up at a fan, like in a restaurant. It was just kind of a cool shot. So I'm going to keep going back to that as I try and fail to get this thing to work. I'm going to keep going back to my voiceover with this fan, like just being more and more depressed as I
reminds me of when we tried to get the PCMY stuff like figured out. That's what that but like way more difficult because that doesn't boot up at all.
But we succeeded with the PCMY
stuff. But to be fair, there was also we had like 5 other people helping that actually knew what they were doing.
So and this will all be in the video too, and there'll be a lot more details. But Jeff owned it. He sold it, and in between selling it, the new owner agreed that he could send it to me first, and then I would send it off to the new owner. Yeah. So Jeff never got it working. And then we found one other individual that actually lives in China that owns one. And this individual has all of the same components we have, all the cartridges, everything. Cannot get it to work. It's never been able to get it to get up and running. And no one's heard of it other than this guy that we didn't know existed until like the other day.
That's crazy.
And it's called the GBS. Is like the name of it, and there was like a recently leaked software development kit document for the GameCube that like briefly mentions the GBS a couple of times, like going into GBS mode or what have you, but it doesn't say what it does. It doesn't say how to get into that mode. Like it's the only reference to this thing that ever it came out. Just came out like recently.
Yeah, there was more like GigaLeak stuff.
Yeah, and I think it was in one of that. I wasn't paying too much attention to this recent one because it was super technical. And that's kind of not really my wheelhouse. But
that's crazy.
Weird as hell. Like I might get it to work between now and Saturday when I release the video, but like chances are I'm probably not gonna be able to get it to work. So that's what I've been mostly working on.
Well, hey, when you post the video, maybe people in the comments will.
Hopefully.
Or like someone will watch it. Well, that's what happened with the Pokemon videos we did, where like people will watch it and they're like, oh, like I know about this. Like, let me.
Yeah. You know, part of preservation, I think, isn't always just like, I mean, I like got the cartridges dumped and whatever, but I mean, it's that, but it's also like presenting stuff where it's like, have you seen this? Like, it's like a missing child. Like, have you seen this person? You know, like, like, does anyone know? Like,
it's like a group effort, like putting that out there and being like, hey, does anyone know about this?
Anyone,
like, is there anything about it like on the internet or anything?
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. There's nothing about it anywhere.
That's crazy.
They're super bizarre. I don't know who used them. It was probably in-house at Nintendo. Someone asked if it's related to the GameCube IQ player stuff. No idea. No idea if it's related. Obviously, IQ is China. The other individual that owns it lives in China, but he's like an avid Nintendo collector
I
and
assume he got it
speaks.
from Japan.
Yeah, he probably got it from Japan. He speaks English. Like
Yeah.
I don't know the history of his unit. So I don't
Hmm.
know. Like it's super weird.
Yeah.
So it's probably not gonna be the most glamorous video. It's mostly just me being depressed. But that said, I mean that's life. And then the other thing I'm working on. Sorry, again, I'm moving this whole space. So a lot of you don't
Yeah.
normally see this. So I'm actually ripping up all these cabinets, which is why I have all this crap behind me. So these don't have
Ah,
doors on them, which is why I cover
that's funny.
them with these during episodes. So,
Yeah.
anyways, Gaming Legend 64 sent me a bunch of like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance testing software. So I was gonna
Hmm.
have some fun with that as a dessert for my hard work on
Dessert.
the GBS, which is functional, and he knows how to use it, and he's gonna teach me how to utilize it, and it's like will actually work. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm excited to actually tinker with all
That's
that
gonna be
crap.
cool though.
Yeah,
Hopefully you can get it working.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna tinker with it a couple more times, but it's got to be a software thing. I think there's a disc we just don't have. There's stuff called aging
Yeah.
software, which is basically diagnostic, and you can like run these aging software discs. But the problem is they're like no one has them. They're super
Yeah.
rare. They're not even the right region, the ones that we know exist. So you can like run
Uh,
ISOs of them. But guess
mhm.
what? Doesn't like these particular discs? Swiss, which is the only program you can use to run ISOs off of an SD card. So I
uh,
could like hard mod my
yeah.
GameCube, but I mean, is that how far am I gonna go? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, how far can I
Exactly.
go to
I
try to get
wonder
this thing
if the
working?
new guy, the person, the new owner, if they like somehow,
That would be something good for them to try. Uh,
yeah.
but it's a huge endeavor. Plus, we don't even
Mhm.
know if this aging software is going to work. Like, we have no reason to believe it does, only that it's diagnostic testing software, and maybe in it somewhere is something that can recognize the GBS or tell the GameCube to connect to something via a memory card.
Mhm.
But we don't know. There's nothing hinting that it will.
Yeah.
It's just a total random guess is all it is. So.
That's crazy.
Anyways, that's my life. Uh,
That's my life.
that's what I do.
Yep.
It is what it is. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's all of our topics for today. Did we miss anything,
Yeah.
or is that it?
I got my list up. I don't think we missed anything.
Okay. Well, I wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll try to do these with a little bit more frequency. I think with H4G Gaiden, it's kind of one of those things where it's like when we have availability, we will, and then
Mhm.
otherwise, we won't. So,
Yeah.
but if you want to get your fix of streaming, Allie is probably the better person to watch than me because she has something called consistency in her broadcasts. So check her out on Twitch if you are into streaming. She also
Yeah.
does YouTube videos and she's on social media. All the handles are up above. All the links are in the description below. Allie, Retro Allie, do you have any final comments to our adoring
Uh,
chat?
Thanks for watching. It was fun.
Yeah. All right,
I'm
cool.
excited for that video because I'm very curious now
Oh yeah,
about that thing. Oh my god.
I feel like I've already like restored recording some of the voiceovers where I like slowly get a little bit more desperate. I don't know how much of it I'll
Oh
use.
no! It just gets more and more depressed.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little maybe a little dramatic, but not too much. Like
Day
I don't know.
7, still can't get it to
Yeah, I'm just
work.
gonna I'm gonna tinker with the editing in it a little bit, and if it doesn't
That'll be
work,
funny.
I may not go that route so much, but that's kind of my idea so far. We'll have to see how it plays. I'll run it by
Yeah.
my what is it, a litmus test is the right word? I don't know.
Litmus test. Yeah.
Yeah, basically my litmus test is my wife, where it's like I'll show her something, and if she's like, "What the fuck is this, Tony?"
Yeah.
Which is mostly what she says when I create
Mhm.
something, but
Yeah.
normally, no, I'm just kidding. But if it flows well enough,
Yeah.
I'll do it. But
There you
anyways,
go.
thank you all for watching. I'll stop rambling about a
Cool.
video that I'm may not even make. Um, we'll see you
Oh my
all
god.
later. Take care,
Bye.
guys.